Guys, we're going to talk about something. It's going to make a lot of people mad. I know that's going to happen, but you just got to bear with me to the end, right? Like, subscribe, all that crap. Today we're talking about rebounds and how they are the most overrated stat in all of basketball, right? So, again, anyone that knows me knows I'm a big OKC fan, big Russ fan, triple doubles, Oscar Robertson, all that jazz, right? But here's the issue, right? The rebound has been diluted over the last 15 years, right? Maybe 10. Essentially since the rise of the three-point shot. As the three-point shot has become more prevalent, the value of the rebound has become less prevalent, right? And what's happening now is that all of these teams are not really trying to get rebounds. Like, offensive rebounds is where I'm getting at with this, right? Teams are generally considering it's a better option, it's a better play, a more high percentage play to, when that ball goes up, everyone pull back on defense to cut off transition, right? To cut off that fast break offense, right? So what's happening now is two things. One, there's a lot more shots going up, and two, there's a lot less people trying to get the rebound. And what's happening is a bunch of these guards and a bunch of these heliocentric players are realizing that they can just get rebounds without having to really try for them, right? Now, again, I love Russ, but anyone that watched any of those OKC games spent years watching Steven Adams box out players and not go for rebounds. Why was he doing that? Because he was boxing out the man to make sure that Russ could get the rebound, because Russ wanted the triple-double. He did. Now, that's not to say that Russ didn't fight for hard rebounds as well, but a lot of his rebounds were just easy rebounds, but there was no one within 5 feet of him. Luka is a perfect example. Luka averages like 9, 10, 11 rebounds a game every year. And I'm not trying to, be down on him. Mavs fans, don't come at me. But if you actually watch the games, like maybe 2 of the rebounds every game, there are even people around Luka when he's getting the rebound. Otherwise, it's just him jumping up, grabbing a rebound with no one around, and dribbling up the court, right? And then he gets 10 rebounds, and everyone's like, oh, it's amazing. It's a triple-double. He did this and did that. People, like the difference between Trae Young and Luka Doncic, right? They both average 30 points almost a game. They both average 12 assists. One of them gets 3 rebounds a game. One of them gets 10 rebounds a game, right? But the 10 rebounds Luka's getting are not a value add. Anyone on that team could have grabbed that rebound without being contested, and they would have been in the same position. They would have had the ball going up the court, trying to get behind the defense when there's 5 players back because no one wants to grab the rebound, right? Isaiah Hartenstein has been a godsend for OKC because he actually fights for the offensive board. He's forcing teams, if they want the rebound, they've got to earn it, right? But most teams aren't like that. Most teams are jack up a 3 or jack up a shot and then fall back on defense. And what's happened is that the rebound has just become a devalued stat. It's not worth anything anymore, right? And I think I've got a way to fix it, right? I've been in the lab and I've figured out a way to fix rebounding. We split it into 2 stats, right? Bear with me. Now, I am an Australian, and every other Aussie watching this will probably know where I'm going with this. In Australian rules football, our biggest sport, you can get 2 types of possessions. You can get uncontested possessions and you can get contested possessions, right? AFL pitch is friggin' massive, right? And if Americans go watch an AFL game, the pitch is massive. There's 36 players on the field at any one time, something like that. But even though there's that many people on the field, because the field is so big, you can essentially get a possession without someone being within 15 meters of you, right? And as the team swing the ball back and forth in defense to try and find an opening, sometimes the backmen or the guys in the midfield, they can rack up a bunch of assists and a bunch of possessions. And what you end up with at the end of the game is a bunch of players with 35 possessions in a game, right? They've touched the ball 35 times, they've done something 35 times with the ball. But then there's another stat that we use, which is contested possessions, which means when the ball is in dispute and multiple players are trying to get the ball, you have 1 possession of the ball for your team, right? Contested possessions are worth so much more than uncontested possessions, to the point where if you ask an AFL fan, would you like a player that gets 30 uncontested possessions a game or a player that gets 11 contested possessions a game, they're going to pick the guy that gets 11 contested possessions a game every time. Because what it means is you are getting the ball when it's in dispute. You're not getting it just because you're the person around and there's no one else around you, right? So there's value. Like, the uncontested possessions are still a stat. People still watch it. Our Brownlow medal, which is our MVP essentially, will almost always go to a person that gets a bunch of possessions. And most of them probably are uncontested. But when it comes to a battle between 2 players fighting for that MVP trophy, that Brownlow, if one of them's getting like 15 contested possessions a game and one of them's getting 4, that hurts that guy's chances because he's just getting the ball when there's no pressure, right? He's not actively moving the game forward for his team, right? And I think that's what we need to do with rebounds. I think we need to split the rebound into 2 stats, uncontested rebounds and contested rebounds. And I don't think it should be a triple-double with uncontested rebounds. I think it should only count as a triple-double, a real legitimate triple-double, if you get 10 points, 10 assists, and 10 contested rebounds, right? I think that would clean up the entire statistics, and I know people are going to complain in the comments or whatever and say, oh, it's going to change the whole history books and all that because we can't go back and check how many were contested. But if you watch old school basketball, if you watch it when Oscar Robertson was playing, and in the early days of the 2000s and the early 2010s, before the three-point shot was so prevalent, most teams were fighting for those boards, those offensive boards. So if you were getting 10 rebounds, you were still fighting a pack of players to get that rebound. You had earned the rebound. Right now, these rebounds are unearned, right? And I just think it would make the game and make the triple-double mean something again. Because right now, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't, right? People are getting, how many, in any week, you make, 2 or 3 triple-doubles a week right now, right? And it's like, it's just, the triple-double used to be, some guy got a triple-double, everyone talked about it. Now it's like, the first thing he says, oh, I got a triple-double. And then someone's like, oh, how many shots, or how many free throws, or, they're goosing the assists, or they're goosing the rebounds. People don't care anymore. We need to create value for it, and that's how you do it. If you want a triple-double, you've got to earn it with 10 hard possessions, because I guarantee you, Luka Doncic, and probably early Russ maybe, but a lot of these guys are getting triple-doubles, Josh Giddey included. If you watch the games and you actually counted how many contested rebounds they get, I reckon most of them would average about 3 contested rebounds a game, right? So the other 7 is just the ball's in the air and there's no one else around, I'll pick it up. And that's not worth enough, in my opinion, right? I think that's how you fix rebounding. I'm not saying it's going to solve everyone's problems. I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off, but you know what? I don't really care. I'm here to drink wine and I'm doing that right now. So with that, like, subscribe, follow me on YouTube and TikTok and all the young people stuff that they do. And I will see you guys in the very next episode. Aussie Man out. Ooh, buddy.